Imagine this. You finally get the whole family out to the campsite, and then you spend an hour wrestling with a tent while everyone's cold, hungry, and low-key annoyed. Yeah, we're not doing that today. In this video, we're breaking down 6 of the best family camping tents on the market right now, from solid budget picks to, wow, this feels like a tiny cabin setups. By the end, you'll know exactly which tent fits your family size, camping style, and patience level for setup.
6. UMP Family Camping Tent. The UMP is kind of the classic big family tent you picture in your head. Tall cabin style, big footprint, and tons of mesh windows, so it doesn't feel like you're sleeping in a plastic bag. It's designed for up to 10 people with dimensions around 18 by 9 feet and a peak height of about 78 inches. So most adults can actually stand up and move around without that awkward crouch shuffle. The layout includes 2 rooms with a divider, which is nice if you want to separate kids and adults or just create a little dressing room. The outer fabric is a polyester 185T with around a PU 1000 millimeter waterproof rating, so it can handle light to moderate rain without instantly soaking your stuff. Now, here's what matters when you actually set this thing up. The frame uses a traditional pole system with multiple fiberglass poles, so it's not one of those instant pop-up deals. Once you get the hang of it, setup is straightforward enough. But on the first go, you're probably looking at a bit of trial and error, especially if you're doing it solo. The good part is the instructions are usually sewn into the carry bag, so you're not digging for a crumpled paper at sunset. Once it's up, it really does feel spacious inside. And with 5 big mesh windows plus the mesh roof, ventilation is solid in warm weather.
5. FanttikOutdoor Alpha C4 Ultra Camping Tent. Instead of being huge and traditional, it's a compact, instant cabin tent built for up to 4 people. The standout thing here is the structure. It uses a pop-up X-frame with integrated eave poles, so it's literally designed to go up in about 60 seconds once you know the motion. No tools, no complicated sleeve threading. You pull, it locks, and suddenly you have this boxy little cabin. Inside, you get roughly 94 by 94 inches of floor space and about 80 inches of center height, so you can still stand up straight, even though it's a smaller footprint. The build quality is where it quietly flexes. The floor uses a thick 300D fabric, which is way tougher than the thin plasticky floors you get on cheap tents. And the outer fabric, seam taping, and overall design are meant to be properly waterproof and wind resistant. You've got a full coverage style rain cover you can add when the weather turns. And when it's off, each side of the tent gives you 3 double pane windows with rollable eaves and a fine B3 mesh. Translation, you can get really good airflow and light without half the bug population joining your sleepover. Now let's be honest for a second. This is sold as a 4-person tent. And yeah, 4 people can sleep in there, but if you're packing a family with gear, it's gonna feel tight.
4. The Vidalido 6 to 8 person camping tent. The Vidalido is where things start feeling more like a full-on family base camp again. This tent gives you a big 2-room design with an extended vestibule at the front. So you're not just getting sleeping space, you're getting a kind of mini living room that keeps shoes, chairs, or gear out of the rain, but still out of the main sleeping area. It's built with a weather-resistant outer layer, featuring around a 1500 millimeter PU waterproof coating, plus reinforced fiberglass poles that give it a stable structure once everything is staked out. Here's what stands out when you're actually using it with family. That extended vestibule is a game changer on wet or super sunny days. You can cook just outside the main sleeping area, stash bikes or coolers under cover, or set up a couple of camp chairs and hang out without being blasted by weather. Inside, the 2-room layout makes it easy to split adults and kids or create a separate space for changing and storage. Once it's up, it feels less like a big bag of nylon and more like a small, organized shelter. Weather-wise, the Vidalido behaves well for family camping. The rainfly coverage and waterproof coating are solid for typical rainstorms, and as long as you guy it out properly, those fiberglass poles hold their own in wind. The tent has multiple doors and windows to help with airflow so it doesn't get stuffy with a bunch of people breathing and moving around.
Number 3, Naturehike KOTA 4 to 8 person camping tent. This one feels like it was built for families who actually live in their tent at camp, not just sleep in it. The KOTA lineup comes in 4, 6, and 8-person versions, but the 8-person model is the real family star. You're looking at roughly 18 by 9.3 feet of floor space with about a 6-foot center height, so most adults can stand up straight, move around, and, get dressed like a normal human instead of doing the tent yoga routine. It's a double wall design with a dedicated inner tent and outer rainfly, which is huge for comfort and condensation control. The layout is very homey. You get a bedroom plus living area concept where the inner tent gives you a cozy sleeping space and the front or side area stays more like a lounge or gear zone. For families, that means you can tuck kids into the inner sleeping area and still have somewhere to sit, talk, or quietly scroll on your phone without stepping outside into the dark. Ventilation is handled through multiple windows and doors, combined with the double wall structure, so even with a bunch of people inside, it doesn't instantly turn into a sweat lodge. Build quality is a strong point here. Naturehike typically uses quality fabrics and good stitching, and the KOTA follows that pattern with solid waterproofing and a stable frame designed for real outdoor use, not just backyard sleepovers. 2. KTT Extra Large Tent. This thing is big. The model commonly referenced for family camping runs about 16 by 11 feet with a 7.4-foot peak height, and it's designed for large groups, often listed in the 12 to 14-person range. The key design detail is the straight-walled structure, which means you don't lose headroom at the sides like in a dome tent. That gives you more usable space for cots, mattresses, or even a small table inside. You also get multiple doors, usually 3, and 3 mesh windows, which make moving in and out with kids, dogs, and gear so much easier. With that many entry points, you're not constantly climbing over people or stepping on someone's pillow. The mesh helps with ventilation, and when you combine that with the tent's volume, the interior feels airy instead of claustrophobic. It's very much a family cabin feel, not just a tent you crawl into. Weather protection is handled through a waterproof outer fabric and a rainfly system designed to keep water off the main body of the tent. When you look closely, you'll notice air vents and fly spacing that help reduce condensation, which is important when you've got a dozen breathing humans inside. Properly staked and guyed out, the KTT holds its own in rain and moderate wind for a typical camping. Again, this isn't an alpine expedition shelter, it's an extra large family car camping tent, but within that lane, it performs very well.
1. EchoSmile Instant Pop-Up Camping Tent. The EchoSmile is the one that just makes camping with family feel easy. This is an automatic, instant pop-up design that's typically sized for about 4 to 6 people, depending on the version. And it's built for people who want the shortest distance between "we arrived" and "we chilling inside the tent." You undo the straps, let it pop, make a few quick adjustments, and boom, your shelter is basically ready. No wrestling, no, wait, which pole is this again? Inside, the EchoSmile gives you enough space for a small family or a couple with kids to sleep comfortably, with room for bags and a bit of movement. It's not pretending to be a gigantic cabin, but for how fast it sets up, the interior feels surprisingly practical. The design includes mesh panels for ventilation and bug control, and the overall structure is tailored to casual family camping where simplicity is more valuable than raw size. Weather-wise, it's built as a water-resistant family tent, so normal rain and damp conditions are handled just fine when everything is properly zipped and staked.
The automatic frame is designed to be sturdy enough for typical campsite wind, and the outer fabric helps shed light to moderate rain. You're not taking this into a multi-day storm on a ridge, but for weekend chips, lakeside camping, or state park campgrounds, it holds up the way you'd hope a family tent would. Final thought? That's all for today, folks.